Welcome to mtbradley. Do you have a specialized air tool floor pump? Well, stay tuned because I'm going to show you how to use it. For more mountain bike tips, reviews, and trail rides, subscribe to my channel, tap the bell to be notified when I upload a new video every Thursday.
Mountain bikes are rad! You should get one!
As an outdoor professional, I've helped thousands of people recreate outside, and mountain biking was just one of those activities. Now, it's time for me to help you. Back in November, I did a gear review of the Specialized Air Tool floor pump, and I've used it a fair bit since then, and have a few more thoughts I wanted to share. Also got a few questions from folks watching the previous video, so thanks Beth Garten and Killlane231 for your questions. I'll have those answered for you in today's video. If anyone has any additional questions, please leave them in the comments below. Here's the Specialized Air Tool floor pump that I did the review on last fall. It's pretty filthy right now. Pretty gross actually. It's out here in the shop and things get pretty filthy out here in the shop. So let me give it a quick clean and then we'll jump right into the video. Okay, now that it's clean, I still like the handle. The handle's real comfortable and it's still pushing some good air. Still nice and fluid after the months of use. Still digging this long hose on the pump. It's nice. It gives me some freedom to set things down and still have some reach and not feel like I have to be right up next to the wheel when I'm pumping air into the tire. The attachment point, the fitting for that goes on the valve of your tire or inner tube is holding up quite nicely. I'm really happy with that. I would say that I had higher expectations of the dial here. The pressure gauge right here, the readout, it's lost some of its consistency over the months, and so it's probably 6 or 7 psi lower, and I know that because I have another pump that is spot on, and I have a couple of pressure gauges that I've checked the tire pressure after using this to see how it compares, and this one seems to be 6 to 7 psi lower than when I first got it, so that's a bit of a bummer. Beyond the pressure dial issue that I'm having, I've been really happy with the pump. It pushes a large volume of air. It's super easy to inflate my mountain bike tires. I would say that once you get to 100 psi on road bike tires, it does get a little bit harder to push, but that is to be expected because you have a higher pressure that you're trying to push more air into. I haven't had to lubricate or take the pump apart to do any service or maintenance to it. So those are all good things. You can use this floor pump to inflate inner tubes or tubeless tires. One of the things I mentioned before that I liked about this pump is this fitting right here is a Schrader valve and Presta valve compatible, which is fantastic. So you don't need a special adapter for those Presta valves anymore when you're using a pump that's not Presta valve compatible. This one does both. Also, you don't have to, if you remember years ago, you had a pump with two fittings, two heads on the fitting, one for Schrader, one for Presta. That's not really a thing anymore. Nowadays, they're making pumps where this is universal for both valves, and that's fantastic. So what is a Presta valve and Schrader valve? Well, let me show you right here. This is a Schrader valve right here. Looks a lot like your car tire valve. This is a Presta valve right here. Because this fitting is universal between Schrader valves and Presta valves, I found that it's a bit more sensitive on Presta valves, and so ensuring that you place the fitting on the valve, I was going to say correctly, but straight, so it's not like cockeyed or off to the side or something. Make sure it goes straight on the valve. Ensuring that you get the fitting on straight will help ensure that you can maximize the amount of air that you put into your tire or inner tube. Okay, a quick note on Presta valves. This is a tubeless tire, but it's got a Presta valve, so let's just take that cap off. And the top of Presta valves has this little cap that threads on a stem, and you lefty loosey righty tighty. As you loosen it, it rises. As you tighten it, it drops back down inside. And I wanted to point this out because if you don't open the valve up like this, you'll never get air inside the valve or inner tube or your tubeless tire. So it's really important to open it. Once you get done putting air into your tubeless tire or inner tube, tighten that back down. You want to do that to keep the dirt and crud and crap out of the valve here, because getting that stuff down inside the valves will mess up the inner workings of the valve, and that's no good. You don't want that. And then if you have a cap, it's nice to throw a cap on just to help add a little bit of extra protection. Okay, let me show you how to attach the floor pump fitting to a Presta valve. So this is our fitting. We just want to take the fitting and slide it straight over the valve like that. Now that little bit of air release is not a big deal, right? Because you're attaching the pump and you're going to add air back into it. So if you lose a little bit of air putting the pump on, not a big deal. But you just slide it on as straight as you can. And then you flip this lever up right here. Flip that lever up here. If you keep the lever down, then that's what's going to happen. You're going to push this and you're going to allow air to escape your tubeless tire inner tube. So make sure you flip that lever up right there, and then we'll just give it some pumps to put air in it. In a previous video, we went over the gear all new mountain bikers should have. Click the I to access that video and look in the description below to download that free checklist. Okay, now the floor pump and I get to do a little dance to ensure enough pressure gets into the tire. The pressure that I want, and I'm going to shoot for 26 psi for me, and that's based on my weight, tire diameter, and tire width. So it's going to be a little bit different from person to person how much pressure you want to put in your tire. There we go. Alright, when you're done adding air to your tubeless tire or inner tube, to remove the pump fitting from your valve, take this lever up here and flip it down and then just pull it straight up. And don't forget to tighten this little cap down here. I know my hand's in the way there, but this little cap, that helps keep the dirt out. And then I like to add that cap as well, a little extra protection. Okay, now I'm going to show you how to use this floor pump to put air into a Schrader valve. We'll just remove this cap right here, set it off to the side so we don't lose it. And it's the same as a Presta valve, really. We take the fitting, we slide right over the top of it, flip this lever up, just like that. Okay, we're going to add air to this tire using the Schrader valve. And when we do this, we want to use the full range of motion of the pump cylinder. You don't want to be ramming the handle up to the top or slamming the handle down to the bottom. You might find yourself breaking seals and damaging the internal workings of the floor pump. So, but use that full range of motion. Reduces the number of pumps that you have to pump to put air into the tire. Okay, now that we're done inflating our tire, the way that we remove the pump is just like with the Presta valve. We take this lever, flip it down. You may need to hold the tire, because sometimes with the fatter diameter of the Schrader valve, the fitting of the hose, there we go, yep, sticks a little bit. So just give it a little wiggle and pull it straight up. No need to yank on it. Yanking could result in breaking the pump fitting parts or breaking off your valve or tearing it from the inner tube, and that's no good. Then you have to replace an inner tube or reseal your tubeless tire or something, and nobody wants to do that. So just take a little time and patience. If it's sticking, and wiggle it and pull it straight up. Hope this short tutorial was helpful today. I'm not sponsored by Specialized, so if you found this tutorial helpful, hit the like button and subscribe to my channel. Would greatly appreciate it. If you like what you see here, I'd encourage you to look down in the description below and click on Buy Me a Coffee and buy me a coffee. A donation like that will help me bring you these videos. To improve your mountain biking, click the I in the upper right hand corner. If you're new to mountain biking, you want to get your hands on my free checklist that covers the gear you need for a trail ride. This checklist will fast track you to feeling confident for your first ride. Look for the link to this free checklist in the description below. If you learned something, be sure to hit the like button, subscribe, and share it with your friend. Tap the bell to get notifications for my next video. Until next week, I'll see you on the trail.